Okay, Vortex, I guess I should show you these posters. Because I did one recently that I really, really, really like. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with the poster. I think it's really cool. I think you've already seen this, but I was going to do this tonight. The real epidemic is phone brain. Okay. Now, I'm talking, really specifically about, my generation as well as, Gen Z, and Generation Alpha. But I think that the phone junkie problem is it's really bad, and it's kind of like, you know, when people deny that there are like a lot of major problems with, you know, certain drugs. And people will say, oh, well, I do it and it's fine. You know, like I could smoke a joint and not go into a state of psychosis. It's like they get offended because you're just putting the information out there. But I would argue that most people that have a smartphone, like, can't handle it. Like, sure, there are people out there that can handle it. Congratulations, that's fantastic. I mean, I'm glad to know that. I'm glad that those people exist. But at the same time, like, I'm never going to stop talking about this because it just really makes me sad that people didn't think about the youth. And, you know, when you, like, go along with technology that's smart, it's like, how is that not, like, such a slap in the face to yourself? You know, even if, okay, so say you, like, know how to use it, and say you're a really emotionally intelligent person, and you know how to use it, and it's a tool for you. Like, that's really awesome. But most people aren't like that. I don't think most people are smart. I really don't. I don't think most people are innovative. I don't think most people are, like, DIY types of people. And maybe that's just this generation because of, like, the way that they're brought up. Now, I know that a lot of times it's, like, it's a parenting problem. But it's also, like, you know, the way that our society is now. Like, we don't have that kind of hands-on because there's no community. Like, I'm so grateful that I joined my church because, like, I definitely have a community of people that know how to do things that I don't know how to do. And I mean, I know how to do things that they don't know how to do. So, I mean, we can all help each other out. And it just sucks because, like, this technology is so isolating. And so, you know, there's no boundaries. There's no boundaries with it. I mean, if you can scream at people that you don't even know about subjects that neither one of you are half as educated as you think you are, then, like, I mean, here's the thing. I know that I make a lot of statements that seem like they're real arrogant, but it's like, that's part of the comedy art form, but that's also, you know, I can say whatever the fuck I want because I'm vlogging, you know? It's just, I can say whatever I want, period, but I'm not just going on Facebook and, like, screaming at people because they don't share my same shitty viewpoint, you know what I mean? Like, I probably should just stop defending that. Like, I don't need to defend it. There's nothing to defend, but I'm just saying that, like, there's a significant difference between, like, making art versus like leaving comments or, you know, talking trash on a social network. You know, like, I think there's a huge difference. But I got into an argument with this guy that I do stand up with about the difference between YouTube and Twitter, and he was like, they're the same thing. And I'm like, they're really not the same thing, but I mean, you can use both of them like interchangeably though. That's the thing. Like, if you have a Twitter account, I guess it's X. I need to start calling it X, but I just can't. I can't readjust. Like, say you take something from your YouTube and you clip it and then you send it to Twitter. Like, yeah, I guess that's a way that you can, you know, showcase what you're doing on this other platform. But the whole point of a website like Twitter is to divide everybody. So that's why I don't want to use the site. Even though I realize that I would probably be insanely good at it because, you know, Twitter is just for thoughts. You know, I have a lot of thoughts. They're pretty good. They're pretty brilliant some of the time. Some of the time, not all the time. But anyway. Okay, so I already did that poster. I showed you that poster. This is one I'm super proud of. Americans aren't going crazy, but staying crazy. That's such a cool poster. I fucking love it. Okay, so this was originally about me. If you don't recall, I always say I'm not going crazy, I'm staying crazy. Because there's nowhere for me to go but round and round. Okay? But yeah, I said that about social media, that that's what would happen to Americans if they kept using it. I said that back in 2006. Because it just was obvious that a lot of people just don't have self-awareness. They don't understand how they're coming across, and they're rude, and they just say things that are totally unnecessary. I really don't. I mean, the only time I say things that are seemingly unnecessary is on this vlogging channel, which is a vlogging channel. So, like I said, can say whatever the fuck I want. But yeah, it's like, say I watch a video, and I don't really do this much anyway, but say I watch a video and I'm like, man, this person's wrong. I don't feel the need to tell them they're wrong. And the main reason for that is because I just don't give a shit. I don't. And it's also their thing, you know? It's their perspective, so they can have it. Do you hear that shit? Vortex. That's I think it's a car. I thought it was a fucking helicopter. I'm losing my mind. Okay. Speaking of staying crazy, that's me. That's totally me. But yeah, it's definitely my country. I think a lot of people here are like borderline psychotic. So yeah, I just want to show you guys this one poster because I really like it. I'm currently working on this one. It says, "It never gets old, does it?" I think I'm going to do that red. I wanted to do a different color. Yeah. I haven't been doing as many posters. I mean, this one. I think the ones that I'm doing, I'm working on longer. This one took me a little while. I really like it. The colors are really great and super offensive to Americans that can't accept the fact that they're part of the problem. But okay, so I was thinking about the whole like make America healthy again, and so I keep seeing stuff because my algorithm knows that I'm a conspiratorial nut job. Okay, so it keeps trying to show me videos on YouTube about how everything's fake and how food's plastic and shit like that. And okay, so like, you know, I had to talk to my Trump supporter friends and tell them that, like, yeah, that all this stuff that they say is going to happen because of, like, RFK and the Trump team, like, it's just going to fuck up the country even more. And so it's like, if you believe that the news is fake, and I believe Donald Trump when he said that. But the problem is, a lot of people that like him because of that, it's like they still listen to other, like, mainstream people, you know? And if the world's a lie, it's not just going to stop being a lie, you know? Like, and maybe this is just because I read the Bible. I swear, it's because I read the Bible. So it's like, I see that things have always been this way, and they're going to stay this way. People always lie. And they're always putting up this front of, like, what they want people to believe they're doing. So, like, the whole Make America Healthy, again, it's like, it's just been made more and more obvious that the food is fake. You know, I feel like they're adding more shit to it. But, yeah, it's everything now. So, like, the food, the weed, whatever they're dumping in the water supply, like, there's extra fluoride in it now. You know? I just don't think that, like, you could ever make America healthy. You know, like, maybe back in the day when everyone was growing their own food because, like, they knew how to do that. And the soil was better, too, because they didn't have all this technology where they're, like, dumping shit on us. Dumping shit from these planes, you know, like, polluting the air. And it's like the world was in a much more functional state. But that's the problem. It's like, how could you make America healthy again? How could you make America great again? If, like, there have been so many things to change our society that are not good. And you could say, Amy, you're not being realistic because this is the world now and you need to accommodate to it. You're going to be left behind if you don't accommodate. And I get that. I get what you're saying. And I appreciate your concern. But I think you're wrong. I don't think that we should, like, accept this. You know? I don't. And maybe, like, I'm wrong for fighting it. But flip phone life is better. I promise it's better. Even if it seems like I'm gaslighting myself into believing that I'm extra virtuous or something like that. I just really, really hate control. I don't like it when people try to control the population. You know, not a fan of that. So I look at it like I'm part of the problem if I subject myself to that. I'm not saying that people that have, I mean, well, actually, I take that back. I know that I have said that. But I'm kind of speaking hyperbolically there, too. Because, like, I know that a lot of people can't, like, they don't have the option of just refusing to do that because it's part of their life. Like, a lot of people have a phone for their job. You know, like, they do all kinds of things with the phone. So I know that there are, like, really practical uses for it and shit, but... you know, we gotta fight it tooth and nail. You think it's my ego? I think it's some kind of pride that I have. I wonder that. That is crazy that I can hear that car all the way from over here. I don't know where it is. Somewhere around these parts. Do you guys hear it? It sounds like a race car. Yeah, anyway. Ooh, shit. But I don't want to be so cynical that I'm just like, oh, the world can't possibly get better, you know? But I can't help it because so many people want to deny what the problem is. And I know it's not just one thing, but I would say that the technology is the main thing right now. And nobody wants to talk about it, which is why I say that it's the problem. You know? Anytime that somebody doesn't want to talk about something, that is probably the problem. You know? I would say that the thing that people don't want to talk about is far more likely to be the problem than the thing that everybody's super willing to talk about that doesn't seem to accomplish anything when you talk about it. I mean, that would be great if it did, but nothing seems to change all because, you know, people keep yakking about how fucked up everything is. And yeah, things are just getting so much worse every single day. But, you know, microwaves are really bad for you. That's why I put all that shit in my microwave. Sometimes when I film, I put the camcorder in there when I film in my house. Cause yeah, I don't use my microwave. I try not to anyway. I think I've used my microwave maybe twice in the past, like, 4 years. So, microwave's got the EMF frequency, but the frequency is something that our body doesn't recognize, which is why it's so bad for us. And I was thinking, like, that's literally what surrounds us every day. It's like what people are immersing themselves in. You know, this EMF frequency that our body doesn't recognize, and that's why everybody is so fucked up mentally. And I'm not just saying, like, the phone brain. I'm not just saying that. It's like, it's affecting everything. So that energy, if other people are consumed, that's still going to affect you. You know, even if you're not personally obsessed with your phone, or, like, you're just chronically online, it's like that's still going to affect you. That energy. And so it's like you can try to stay away from it. You can try to avoid all this stuff, but it's still in the air and it still permeates throughout our world. And this isn't just an American thing either, you know? Like, lots of countries are having issues with people, like, not paying attention to things they need to pay attention to. And, you know, I think that's why the crime rate's up, too. Because if people aren't paying attention to what's in front of them because they're too busy, like, watching television on a little screen that they carry around with them everywhere, then yeah, they're not gonna notice that somebody's about to stab them or, like, steal their purse or some shit, you know? So many people will drive off without their food. It's crazy. And this fucking economy is, with things being as expensive as they are, you think that people would remember everything that they pay for, but it's like the only thing they remember to do is just look on that phone again, you know? So yeah. Never thought I'd have to say this, but based off of my perspective, everyone seems to be hooked on that stuff. But here's the thing. I notice when people aren't. So today, there was a guy that came in that ordered his food, and he was just standing there waiting for it. He wasn't on his phone. He wasn't, you know, doing anything. He was just standing there waiting. I was like, okay. I'm glad to be wrong. I cannot stress that enough. But yeah, I do have the tendency to view people as piece of shit mass consumers. Like, I would say that most people are like that. And I hope that I'm wrong about that. I hope that there are less people that are mass consumers. But I think that consumption is just so ingrained in our culture that people don't know that that there are options for them to, like, not do that. And they could just, you know, find stuff that they're passionate about, you know, hobbies, and they could learn things, they could read, you know, they could spend time with people or take care of an animal or something like that, you know? And I'm sure, I think people do that, but yeah, there's just a lot. There's so much that we can do. And me, myself, I'm trying not to limit myself based off of, like, things that I think are going to happen, or, like, how old I am, or, you know, what's happening in the country, the state of the economy, or whatever. Like, I don't want to put these limits on myself for any reason because of bullshit, you know, because of these lies that I'm telling myself. And I think that I know things. Like, I think that I know what's going to happen. And, like, yeah, I can predict things based off of energy, but I'm wrong to try to predict specific things, and I'm wrong to be afraid because, like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And if it's nothing but, like, negative shit bombarding, you know, my sense of peace and all that, then obviously it's not from it's not from God, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that it's from his adversary. Because he knows I'm easy to fuck with. And he can't fuck with me in certain ways no more. So he's gotta go the paranoia route, you know? But yeah. Anyway. I better get inside and, like, pretend I'm working jokes.